Hello, everybody. I am Ayo Ghost, and this is hell. No, seriously, look where I'm at. So, this is the Night of Champions. Now, this is not going to be a regular, ordinary stream. I'm not going to be playing this game at all, really. I'm just going to be giving some little bit of hints that I've noticed myself. This is actually not 2K24, but I'm gonna pretend like it is to get viewers. You can't even really tell the difference anyway. I mean, this is PS4, so I mean, it kind of looks like 2K24. Speaking of, why are they coming out the year? Why is a game named the year it comes out? It's not supposed to be that way. Somebody tell WWE that that's not how it's supposed to go. But anyway, like the whoa, I'm getting the Charlie horse. Okay, it's gone. Nope, it's back. Nope, it's gone. Could you imagine? You imagine oh, I gotta stretch my leg. Alright. I'm not dead. As I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, this is, as the name of the title of the stream suggests, this is the WWE Championship Belts, Secrets, and Arena Mysteries. And first I'm going to show you this one weird thing that I've noticed. And oh, devil is here in the comments, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. The world famous man of many names, Mr. Daredevil, Sergeant Serial, Lord of Cinder. I was about to say one. He was gonna get mad at me if I said it though. he was gonna get mad at me if I said it though. He knows what it is too. But as I was saying, this is we're just gonna get to it because this stream is not gonna be too long. But we're gonna start with yes, it does start with a B and it ends with an A. And it's 3 words. And we're gonna start with a glitch that I've noticed. It might be in more arenas, but it's in this one though. So we're just gonna zoom out. We're in the Night of Champions 2008 arena. I'm not even going up. Which way is up? All right. So as we can all see, I did not make this arena. This is 2K made this arena. It's unlocked in John Cena's showcase mode. First of all, so that shows that this is an old arena. Now, if you can look, you can see the ceiling. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this arena is actually not in the game as a creatable arena. Actually, it might be. It just doesn't have anything there. But one thing I've noticed is that for some odd reason, 2K decided to use an image of the Thunderdome arena for reflections in glass in this arena. Now, I know you're asking, what does that mean, reflections in glass? There is no glass. Well, you're right. Except if you see these little VIP boxes, they're actually windows. Right? So if we go up here, you can already see the Easter egg. It's not even Easter egg, you just, I don't know what to call it. You can see this glass and there's reflection, right? You see the little lights. Well, what you don't know is that over the glass, they have used a static image of a modern WWE show for the reflection. But the problem is, it's not a stage that they ever use. Let me explain. So if you go into the reflection, that sounds funny. If you go into the glass, you can actually see part of an arena. As you can see, there is a ring. It'll be easy, I think, if you see it from this side, though. Yeah, see? There's an arena. There's a ring. This is definitely from the opposite side of the arena, like the Royal Rumble camera. All right. See a ring, a ramp, and some stage. I have no idea what stage this is. Right now, I'm looking the opposite. What is this this image reflecting? But one thing that's even crazier is that this image is sprawled against the entire arena. If I can get the, look at this. Look, this is the Thunderdome ceiling. I don't know why it's there, but as we can see, that's not in this arena. It's not there. I don't know why they decided to do that, but they did. I mean, again, who would ever look at a reflection in this arena? There's no reason to. Look at that. This is very strange. If I just go, boom, look at that, cut. It's there, then it's not. And you can still see it in reflections. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. Another thing, maybe I can see it here. You kind of can. It's better in the created one, so we'll go to that one. However, I just say here, inside of these bulbs, these light bulbs, there's only 3 circles that creates the light. You can kind of see it here, but in the created arena, it's only these 3 circles. Cause I have it on the highlight reel, so I'm paused, so you can't really see it. Another thing, I don't know if it depends on the arena, but in the created arena, underneath the ring, there are objects. There is a there are stairs. There's a chair, a steel chair inside the chair. There's a chair inside the stairs, and there's something else. But here, there's nothing. There's nothing here. But in the creator arena, there is. Is that Tommy Dreamer? Oh, I was about to say, what's he doing here? All right, now the main thing, we're going to talk about some of the belts, because I am a big belt fan in WWE games. How do I turn this camera again? Oh, wrong way. All right, here we go. We're going to go through all of these belts, so I hope you have some snacks. If you didn't get any snacks, you're an idiot. This is also really difficult because everything's flipped now. Okay. Okay, alright, here we go. Okay, alright. First up is the World Tag Team Championship. Now you might think this is the WWE Tag Team. It's because of the logo, but this is the World Tag Team Championship. And there's something very weird. Also something I've noticed, but it's something very weird. Now, growing up, I primarily became a fan of pro wrestling and WWE during the Ruthless Aggression era. I started watching weekly, I think around 2004. So these belts was already used. Now this is the World Tag Team Championship. When they did the brand split in 2002, they split the championships. They created 3 championships. No, 4. They created 4. All of the WWE named championships were on SmackDown, and all of the world titles was on Raw. So on Raw, it was the World Heavyweight Championship, the World Tag Team Championship, and on SmackDown, it was the WWE Championship and the WWE Tag Team Championship. One thing it took me a long time to notice was to differentiate. The belts were color coded. So on the World Tag Team Championship, the logo, the globe is red, and on the WWE Tag Team Championships, they're blue for the Raw red brand and the SmackDown blue brand. I had no idea about that for years, by the way. Also, that is a much better way to differentiate the titles, because now this entire belt is red, and on SmackDown the whole belt is blue. And there's like a loss of subtlety in everything these days. Everything is like, hey, look at this. Also, this belt does not carry the lineage of the WWE Tag Team Championship. Now, so this lineage starts in 2002 and ends in 2010. When they created the what was it called? The Unified Tag Team Championships. That unification time period, which was from I think 2009 to 2010, maybe 2008 to 2010. That time period carried on the WWE Tag Team Championship. Yes, they do look like coins. All the belts just look like toys. Toy coins, they all look like toys. So, also this is one of my favorite championship belt designs. It's just like it doesn't look bad on anybody. Every person that wore this belt, it looks good on them, and I like it a lot better than the SmackDown version. What else? Oddly enough, Raw during this time period didn't have too many good tag teams. They had all the makeshift tag teams like Booker T and Goldust and Rob Van Dam and Kane, and then you had what was the La Resistance, and then what was the team with Test and Christian and Lance Storm with the Canadians? I forgot what they was called. And then they had, of course, the year-long reign of Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. And then the Spirit Squad had all 5 members being championships of 2 belts. Yeah, the Booker T Goldust team. Such a clash of characters, isn't it? Now, as you can see, they have the WWE logo on them. We have 2 guys. One guy's getting punched on the left. Another guy looks like he's in the headlock on the right. And we're going to move on, once I figure out which way to go, to the United States Championship. Now, here's something odd. When WWF purchased WCW, of course they had some funny business going on with the lineage of the belts. We're going to get to the World Heavyweight Championship later on. But one thing that's weird with this belt compared to the World Heavyweight Championship is that WWE has claimed at different points in the past that the World Heavyweight Championship that was on Raw that Triple H had, that carried the lineage of the WCW and the Jim Crockett Promotions and the Georgia Championship Wrestling and the, all of that lineage. I think the Mid-Atlantic Championship. When in reality it didn't, because Eric Bischoff created it specifically for Triple H. However, this belt, the United States Championship, actually carries the lineage of the former United States Championship belt that WCW had in Mid-Atlantic and the NWA. They all carry that. So I don't understand, because I don't think they just, because this belt, the original United States Championship belt, I don't think it went into the WWF during the invasion, because the Intercontinental belt fused. It fused with this one, I think, with X-Pac and Jeff Hardy, and X-Pac won, and they fused the lineages of the belt, and then they separated them. That's why this belt carries the lineage, and the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't, because when they created the Undisputed Championship, they didn't take the belt, the World Heavyweight belt, away from the Undisputed Championship. They just made a new belt that looked like the old one. That was 2000. If you're talking about the unification match with Jeff Hardy and X-Pac, that was in 2001. I don't exactly know when, because I'm not familiar with that year, really, with the invasion. I'm still in I'm just about to enter January 2001 on my watch. It's just, I started in 2018, y'all. I started in 97. I'm just now getting to 2001. What really slowed me down was SmackDown. When they made SmackDown, because now I have to watch 2 hours of Raw and then 2 hours of SmackDown. But I was also watching Heat, and then they stopped using Heat. They stopped uploading Heat to the network. And then they made SmackDown, so it's 2 hours to 3. So I just started skipping SmackDown. Because it takes too long. Because I was originally going to do Nitro and Raw, but then when I started that in 97, Nitro was already 3 hours. I'm like, I'm not watching 3 hours of Nitro and then 2 hours of Raw. It's probably why WCW started losing in the ratings. Anybody want to watch all that damn wrestling? So anyway, also I never liked this design of the United States Championship. It always looked too cartoony. I know a lot of people do like all those lightsabers on this belt. I know a lot of people do like this this design. I like the design WCW used. At this point, that's what you have to do in order for you not to take years more getting through everything. I know, because I'm thinking, damn, when the Ruthless Aggression era begins, and I have to watch 2 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDowns, it's gonna be annoying. So this belt technically it's still going. The current champion is, I actually don't know who is it one of the LWO members? I have no clue. But the new design that they have for, I think it was MVP and Bobby Lashley during the pandemic, I think that design is too wide. I think it needs to be a little bit pushed in more, because it doesn't fit anybody. If it don't fit Bobby Lashley, it's not gonna fit anybody else, really. Current champions. Oh, it's Logan Paul. Why is he the champion? Oh man, there's parts of WWE present day that is like, whoa, like, LA Knight, and then The Rock is back in, Cody Rhodes, and it's like, okay, this is cool. And then there's reminders like, Logan Paul is here. He's the United States champion, and he's beating actual wrestlers. You know what I mean? Anyway, now we have the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I might have been wrong. I think maybe this was the belt that X-Pac fused. I cannot remember. I could go on Wikipedia, but I'm trying to do all of this from my memory, so I don't trying to strengthen my memory. This belt was definitely a favorite of mine. One of my favorite champions was Jamie Noble in 2002. His feud with Hurricane was really good. Also his feud with with Nydia. Ironically, I love Nydia. Their blindfold match, so good actually. That whole time period was just great, and a lot of people skip over it. Now this Cruiserweight Championship also carries the legacy of the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. So the same belt that Hornswoggle retired in 2007 is also carries the same lineage that Eddie Guerrero held in '97. So they're the same belt, just a different, the same championship, just a different belt design. One thing about this belt is that, how do you feel about the big purple and silver one? Oh, when they brought the Cruiserweight division back, I always hated the design of that belt because it's the modern design that belt's used, where it's really big and ironically it's not really bright, and it doesn't look like something people should hold. Like, can you imagine? Actually, don't even know any cruiserweight boxing champions, but you just imagine them. Like, in boxing, it has colorful belts. Like, they have red belts and blue belts and gold belts and white ones and stuff. They all look better than the crew. It's weird, and it's like they try to make it 3D and it don't look right. But I always thought that this belt, the actual strap, was too big for the front plate. I think because when the cruiserweights wore it, I think it would look too big for them, and it should fit the cruiserweights because they're smaller wrestlers. Which is funny because in pro wrestling, the cruiserweight is at like 200 pounds, but the wrestlers who are in that division are about like 160, 170. But in boxing and like mixed martial arts, cruiserweights are actually 200 pounds, and they're a lot bigger than Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. The original NXT belt was a fucking monster. I'm gonna get to something that you might not know about the size of some belts, because there's one belt design that you're not gonna expect being big, and you're gonna find out how big it actually was. That's what she said. Here we go. The belt that has led to so many misconceptions, even to this very day. The World Heavyweight Championship. This was the first belt I noticed that I remember thinking, that's a different belt. So many people who are wrestling fans are not smart, because this is not the WCW Championship. This is the World Heavyweight Championship that Eric Bischoff presented to Triple H and said, "You're our champion." The original WCW Championship is much bigger than this belt, and it's also not this brownish gold. It's a much more realistic looking gold belt. You might say it was kind of faded. It's mainly because of the gold that they used. Also, I believe the indentation on the original belt is not as, I think it's actually deeper than on this belt. The original belt didn't have these red jewels. I think they're rubies. It wasn't on this belt. I think the original belt had diamonds that blended in. Also, the easiest way to tell what is the original WCW Championship belt is the tip is actually bent. And I believe someone said the culprit who did it, I think they said it was Rick Rude or somebody had the belt, or it's filmed, it's recorded in WCW, and something was happening, some brawl was happening, and then they dropped it, and then ever since then it's always had a dent at the top. I also don't like the rubies, mainly because I think they're again, remember I said earlier about the tag team championship, how they were color coded for Raw and SmackDown. I think these are red to subliminally show this is the Raw Championship, which in that case, okay, that's better than having the Universal Championship be blood red and the SmackDown Championship be, water blue. So I like that in theory, but I agree. I don't like the red rubies on the belt. Also, one thing I noticed is when they originally changed it was around the time they had the Raw SmackDown Super Show. I don't remember who was the champion. It might have been like around the time Sheamus was the champion, whoever. But the belt magically got smaller, like really smaller. And then it was when Daniel Bryan won the belt, and I noticed that the back strap of the belt had turned red. The entire belt was red. On the front, it was still black. That was the second time I noticed that this is a different belt. Ever since then, it really started bugging me that this was not the original belt, and that this was a fake. Also, one way you can tell is that I've learned they don't have it in the games because the resolution is not able to match. But in a lot of these modern era WWE belts, the border, this letter border, actually is indented with the WWE logo all around the belt. It's the WWE logo. And that's why many people, if they buy their belts from WWE, which many of them don't because the WWE belts don't have the best quality, they get re-lettered. So they take that whole strap off, go to an actual lettered maker and get it made to get that stupid, WWE print off. So now we're gonna move on to another belt. But we gotta get past this screen first. Oh, I think I gotta flip it. Oh, no, it's not. It's not flipped. Right? It's not. Yeah. Oddly enough, this arena, it's not flipped like you would think because these belts are on this side. It'll be flipped. And then these belts, since it's on the other side of the arena, they will also be flipped. But they're not. Makes no sense. Alright, we're going to start at what WWE claims is the lowest tier, which is the tag team division, which it technically should not be. It should be second to the main event. Now we have the WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, this was the belt that was presented on SmackDown, hence the blue. This is also the first replica belt I ever had, and by replica I don't mean the $500 one, I mean the $25 one that's for children made out of styrofoam. This belt, it also carries the design of the original WWF Tag Team Championship that Demolition had, that the Hart Foundation had, the Hardy Boys had. When they made this belt, they drew inspiration from that original belt design. Also, I have never liked this belt design. Never. I still don't like this belt design. I never liked the humps at the bottom. Yeah, I think that this belt looks stupid on just about everybody who wears it because it doesn't look like a good belt. And I also hear online that a lot of wrestling fans also dislike this belt design. Now this belt carries the lineage. The current WWE Tag Team Championships still carry this lineage, I'm pretty sure, all the way to this day. So this is one of the oldest belts in wrestling history. It was created sometime in the mid 60s with the Capital Wrestling Corporation, and it's still going to this day. So this is about a 60-year-old belt. Yes. Maybe they did this when they rendered it into the game. It looks like that. I always thought this belt looks too spaced out. Like on the front plate, there's a lot of dead space. in between the shining light rays. So not my favorite belt. It also looks like they just took the World Tag Team Championship side plates and just flipped them. I think I'm noticing something different too, because on a couple of these belts, I don't have my replica. I don't even know where it's at. It might be in my closet somewhere. It might be in the garage actually. But the end plates where the WWE logo is, I don't think that's accurate. One of them, because WWE used to put their logo on one plate and then on the other it used to be like this. It used to be the McMahon family crest, and that's not on this one, if I'm not mistaken. The McMahon family crest is a lion. That's like in like mid roar, and this one just has two WWE logos. I just noticed that now. I'm pretty sure it's on this belt too. Okay, now this one always had the WWE logo. This is the Women's Championship belt. This was created, I don't think Alundra Blaze had this belt. I think this was created when Sable brought the division back. So this belt is also, well, it was one of the oldest belts in existence. This belt went back to like the 40s or something. And this belt has a very complicated lineage, mainly because of Moolah. Not because of the allegations of Moolah, just her reign as the champion. She had the belt for like 26 years, but there was times where she has lost the belt, but it's not recognized. It just says she's still the champion. Like, you know, they say Fabulous Moolah, champion for 26 years, longest champion in history. She has lost the belt like 20 times in that time span, but none of it is recognized. So there's a whole list of women who have pinned Moolah fairly for this belt, have walked around with the belt, and have never gotten a claim from it, because she constantly claimed, I'm still the champion. Everyone knows about the original screw job, as they call it, when Moolah was put in the mask as the cat lady and pinned Wendy Richter, kept her shoulders down for 3 seconds and took the belt, stole the belt from Wendy in Madison Square Garden, took the belt from my mama, and then that belt died for years until I think 91 when Alundra Blaze was there, and then Alundra Blaze, Bull Nakano, then it went away again, came back with Sable, Jacqueline, Ivory, China, later on Lita, Trish Stratus, Molly Holly, Victoria, which are Jazz, which are some of the best, not the beginner ones, not Sable, but the rest of them are some of the best women wrestlers, the best lady wrestlers to ever live. They didn't get a good amount of chance. Molly said something funny when people would give her acclaim for her wrestling history, legacy, about her matches and how she was so much better than given credit for. And Molly would say, yeah, but they only gave us like 3 minutes. I'm glad you picked up on that, because I was about to go to the next belt. So this belt, Mr. Daredevil said, this existed at the same time as the Divas title for a short while, didn't it? Yes. I'm so glad you said that, because this is very near and dear to me, for reasons that you know, but the viewers don't. This belt at one point became the women's belt on SmackDown, and the Divas belt was the belt on Raw, and they existed for a bit. The Divas belt was made in 2008, and I think Maria might have been the first champion, because that was the last year of Playboy and the Divas, and the Divas are strong and powerful and sexy, but they didn't do any of that at that time. They didn't do. What are you laughing at? They didn't do any. They didn't do any of that at that time. That was the time when the Divas had the most clothes on and did the least amount of sexy things, and it was the worst era of women's wrestling probably, which was 2009 to 2015, 16 for WWE wrestling. Because at this time, in other companies, it was still really good women's wrestlers. I mean, at this time, you had two of the best women wrestlers ever, which was Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. And on WWE, they would have these really bad women's matches, but in like TNA, man, it's like you can pick any Gail Kim and Awesome Kong match and be super entertained by it. And Gail Kim gets a lot of respect, but Awesome Kong doesn't. And I think that you can't even say she was good for big girls. Awesome Kong was good, period. Like, she could go in there with, like, from someone like Bull Nakano to China to someone as small as Gail Kim and have an excellent match. And she never gets the credit. And she's an awesome wrestler, pun to her name. And she was in WWE for a little bit, but I think she, like, right when she got there, she got pregnant and she had to go on leave. And when she came back after she had her child, she wasn't there for long because I think she had a brief retirement. She came back and then she retired again, and then she had like that one match with it was either Gail or Mickey when they was about to retire or something. I think it was Gail. I think that might have been in TNA, but I wasn't watching it at that point. I saw the promo where they was crying in the ring in celebration. But my point is that the last women's champion is Layla, who is my favorite female wrestler of all time, and she beat, I think, Michelle McCool when she was the champion at that time. I think she was the champion, and this is interesting because when they unified the belts and Layla was the final women's champion, they stopped using the women's championship and kept using the Divas championship. So Layla was the last women's champion, and then she was continued as the Divas championship. Something stupid is that when they brung back the women's championship at WrestleMania with Lita and Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and I think it was Becky Lynch, and Lita presented, this is the new women's championship. Well, she was right, because that belt that exists now does not carry this lineage. For some stupid reason, that lineage starts in 2016. So this belt is still dead as of 2010. No belts carry this lineage. It doesn't make sense. It's the same name. You would think it would carry the same lineage, but it doesn't. Wasn't there a storyline when she was in WWE where she was getting bullied or something, and they even made fun of her pregnancy? I don't remember that. When she was getting bullied, the only ones I remember getting bullied were Mickie James because of her weight, who wasn't even fat, and they bullied somebody else a little bit after that, and that was forgotten too. Like, not many people remember that one, but I don't remember who it was. I think might have been Caitlyn who got bullied from Eve, I think. Was that her last weeks there? Possibly, because I remember she going in the ring and crying and saying she was pregnant, but I don't remember her getting bullied for that. Alright, next up we have one of my favorite belt designs, which is the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This is kind of, in recent years, have become almost the forgotten design. This was created in 1997. I think the first person to hold this design was actually Rocky Maivia when he was in the Nation of Domination. I think because it was when Austin threw the belt over the bridge into the water, so they got a new belt, which was this one. I think I could be wrong. And this belt was continued the legacy of the Intercontinental Championship being the workers' belts. A little bit. This design might be considered a little bit cursed because the original design, which I'm going to get into later, created a lot of the world champions. Macho Man carried the original belt. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat carried, although he wasn't a world champion in WWF, he was in WCW. Rick Rude, who again wasn't the champion in WWF, but he was in WCW. Kurt Hennig, who again wasn't a world champion in WWF, but he was in AWA. Scott Hall, who again wasn't the world champion in WWF, but was in the AWA, he might have been the world champion. Bret Hart held this belt. Shawn Michaels held this belt. Stone Cold Steve Austin held this belt. The Rock held this belt. Triple H held this belt. Owen Hart held this belt. All of these people became some of the most well-known wrestlers in wrestling history, period. Not just the WWE or in that time period of the 90s. And when this belt design came into place, the wrestlers were still having great matches, but they wasn't really going up to the next level. And that's true for people like Chris Jericho, who was kind of like forced to have this belt. Christian, Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, Johnny Nitro were some of the premier. Kane, Rob Van Dam, all of these guys were like some of the premier wrestlers during that time period, but none of them went to the next level. So that's kind of sad. So then then Cody Rhodes won this belt in 2000 and I want to say either 9 or 10. And Cody has always been a throwback type of guy, so he brung the fan favorite white strapped belt. Now, here's one thing that pisses me off. The fan favorite white belt, it might have been 2009. Rick Rude's theme song is it's like why don't wrestlers' themes fit them no more? But the version of the belt that Cody Rhodes brought back, I guess in 2009, the white version, that's not the same version as the original version. A lot of people think it's the same. It's not the same design because WWE don't own that design. That's why you see that belt in other companies, that design in other companies. I think not too long ago, it was another company that actually used that belt. Might have been MLW or something. As recently as like 2019, they were still using that belt design because WWE doesn't own that belt design. So when they came back with that design in 2009, they made their own version of it so they can own it. So that design is different. The front plates are spaced differently. It's not the same belt design. Also, I never even liked that design. Not the design, but the white strap. A lot of people because it's the white strap. I never liked the white strap of that belt. I think that with that design looks best on the black strap specifically because it makes the front plate shine a lot brighter. Like when you look at WrestleMania 10 in Madison Square Garden, the ladder match with Razor and Shawn, and the belts are above the ring and the camera zoomed in on them and they're swinging back and forth. I don't think you would get that same look if the strap was white. About this belt specifically, like with all of these belts that was during the pre-name change era, the WWE logo was the original F scratch logo that they had to change And this is one of my favorite belt designs, by the way. I think it looked good on, again, about everyone that used it, that was the champion. I just wish that the people that did have the championship kind of, did more. I'm looking at this belt. I just realized something myself. If you look at all the way to the strap, all the way to the right, it says Asia, Australia, and it has a picture of Asia and Australia. Next to it is Europe and Africa, and you have Europe, and then you have Africa. And you look to the left, you have North America, South America, and then it's North America, and then it's South America. You look at the one all the way to the left, it has Antarctica, and then at the top, WWE. So what continent is WWE? How are you the champion of a continent? Ain't nobody there. Like, I know there's people on Antarctica, they're scientists, but there is no nation. So who's having wrestling matches in Antarctica? Damn it, that's where TLW is going. We're going to Antarctica. It's the only right thing to do. Whew, man, next is the belt that is full of controversy since its inception, and whose popularity has pretty much died in recent years, and that is the version of the belt, John Cena's bling spinner belt version. As a child, I loved this belt, mainly because I was a fan of hip hop during that era. With the spree wheel rims, the spinner rims, everything at that time would spin, from wheels on the car to wheels on the bike to chains and wristwatches. I even saw an earring that would spin once. Everything would spin. Everything was very bright and flashy. You can blame 50 Cent and G-Unit for that. A lot of people hate this belt. Now, for me, I like this belt from the beginning. I actually have this belt in person. Again, it's not one of the expensive ones. It's one of the cheap children ones. This belt, I believe to me, it only fits on a few people. Number one is John Cena, because it was made for him. Number two, I think this belt fits on Edge, specifically the rated R version of Edge, not any of the later versions. I think this belt fits on Jeff Hardy, and if you really want to push it, it can fit on Randy Orton. But that's about it. Anybody else, this belt does not look right on. It's only those people. I first noticed the first change with this belt when it stopped spinning, which is something not many people noticed. They never paid attention that the belt doesn't spin anymore, and it stopped spinning in like 2007. Yeah, but I mean, it's Jeff Hardy though. Like it's Jeff. I mean, not too many things look bad on Jeff, but this belt highlight, because like people look at Jeff as like this hot topic type of dude, but if Jeff wanted to take Cena's gimmick, he could definitely do it. Realistically, like if you watched any of the well, they're not even around anymore. It's the old 20-year-old, 25-year-old, about 20-year-old, the Jeff Hardy behind the scenes documentaries 1, 2, and 3. You would see, I mean, Jeff is in there rapping. There's one scene I wish I could find again. It's him, Matt, and R-Truth are in the club, and they're just dancing. They're just dancing amongst themselves. Like, and it's not even like comedy dancing. They're actually in there dancing in the club. And they're not even dancing with women. They're just in there killing it. Like, R-Truth is in there doing his shit. And then Jeff is over there slow grinding, and Matt's doing whatever Matt does. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. That's why I say Jeff could definitely this belt could definitely fit on Jeff if he had it longer. He only had it for like a month, if that long. One thing is that this belt went through a bunch of problems because originally, the pieces would fall, like with a lot of belts, the diamond pieces and rubies and jewels will fall off. The centerpiece, the WWE centerpiece, that whole thing fell out, and I believe when it stopped spinning is because they glued it into the back plate until they could make a new one, and then they made a new one and they purposely made it not spin. But originally, when they made this belt, it was huge. It was humongous, and they made it smaller. So there's two. I think there's two versions of this belt that would spin. The second version is smaller than the first one. Also, over time, they will have problems with the jewels in the middle. Like you can, for some reason, it kind of looks like that on this one. But you can see there's pieces missing, and that was true for the actual belt. There would be pieces missing in the W. They would just fall off. Also, it would scratch off, and they would have to put this type of like a gel on it, so the metal, the silver metal behind it won't get seen by fans. So it's supposed to fit. Yeah, see, none of these have the McMahon family crest on them. They definitely do. Like this one says Mon Night Raw. This one says WWE Champion. I've used some of these assets for my TFW belts. A couple different ruby changes, but I believe during the height of the PG era, when like they gave the belt to everybody, like Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus and them, they would actually make changes during TV with different versions of the belt, depending on what was being used. So, say someone does a promo and they're the champion, they would take the good belt, and then when later on there's going to be a brawl or someone has to get hit, they would use the house show belt, which was all beat up and raggedy, and they would use that belt for the physical segments. And then after the show, when the champion, takes pictures with fans and children and stuff, they will use the good version. Which I don't think they do with the newer belts because they're all exactly the same. But there were so many small pieces on this belt that could go wrong, that they had to use specific versions. And of course, this belt replaced the Undisputed. But I'll probably do that another day. Go through all the belts. I just wanted to use this because they were on this set, the Night of Champions set. I guess I can also explain that they got the name Night of Champions from WCW's Clash of the Champions, which they will never admit to. And the championship that they use is, of course, the World Heavyweight Championship, but it's a weird version of it. That actually kind of made me dizzy spinning it like that. Also, this arena is one of the best arenas when they actually, used set pieces instead of LED boards. I literally just, you want to see what happened? This shit's always confusing. How do I? Oh. This is what happened when I started this, preparing the stream. Triple H just ran. He just ran at me. For some reason, in these new games, the characters just sprint. So Cena, as you can see, Cena's about to get messed up. Cena's turn to play the game. Ran into a hiney. So now we're going to go into the created arena mode, so I can show you the other Easter egg. I forgot to turn the music off. I'm gonna get this stream is not gonna last too much longer. Forgot to had to talk over it, so had to talk over it so it wouldn't catch. You know what I mean? Had to hit a old la 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 la. Completely forgot about that. I prepared the stream and everything and forgot to turn off the music. I don't even know who theme song that was. Nah, we're gonna sit in silence. All right. Well, I can do some right quick. Now this is a bit weird. There's something weird about this. So, oh wait, maybe they finally fixed it. Yeah, they fixed it. So, for like arena, they definitely used to name this stadium, and this is not a stadium. This is an arena. So I guess I can't show you guys that one. But oh well, here's one thing. Not many people notice the classic sports arena is actually Madison Square Garden. See, this is the ceiling of Madison Square Garden that no one ever picks up on. It's the only one that's in that one. Here we go. We go to the theater. The theater, which is the Hammerstein Ballroom. I actually found out a way to remove the crowd, not just in this arena, but in all arenas. And I have not seen it on the internet, so I might be the only person in the world that knows how to remove the crowd. So during gameplay, for some reason, the first match, the first entrance, you will see everyone. After that, you will only see this part of the fans. All of this over here will be completely empty. And I think because of where the hard camera is and with the camera cuts, you will only see like this part of the arena. So that's the only part that they render in. Of course, it might be different for PS5. They actually fixed it in this one. In 22, it does that. Not in 23. Now, I think I was at this arena. I'm going to show you the stairs under the ring. It might still be there, but I'm going to just set everything up how it was. I was at Night of Champions because I forgot that I wasn't in the created arena. I was in the actual match. So if you go under this ring, let me go from this side. If you go under this ring, you will be in for a weird surprise. Because for some reason, this is here in created arena, but not during the actual match, as you will expect it to be. You go under the ring. What's under this ring? What's under this? What's it? Wow, would you look at that? It's a. So we have a stairs. We have a steel chair. It looks like a ring bell, a microphone. It looks like a wheel. What the hell is that? I didn't look. I saw it. Like, I literally discovered this while I was preparing to make the stream. I was like, what the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is. What is that? What could that even be from? I can't zoom in anymore. Shoot. But that's pretty strange. Like, because I would think this is the area where my headcanon is that one of the level designers forgot. Well, see, okay, possibly, like with the whole reflection thing. But, and there's also a steel chair laying down. And whatever that white piece is. But you would expect this to be here during gameplay as like I don't even know what they call it. You should probably know. Like a spawn point for the weapons when you go under the ring. But during gameplay, as I showed you earlier, it's completely empty. But on created arena, where there's no gameplay, there's a whole bunch of shit under the ring. That's about everything I pretty much have. Like I didn't want to do like the rest. I was gonna go down all of the championships that I know about, but that's not what I'm doing. Where is it? Oh, it's in like, so I was gonna go down here, right? But I don't have all of the championships because it takes a lot to make a balance in this game. So I purchased some. Don't think too hard about why I purchased these. Y'all will find out later on. But so one thing that's really quick I can say that it's been in these games since like 2016, 2017. So they have the ECW World Championship 2006 to 2008, right? Then they have the original, well, not the original, but the legacy ECW Championship from 94 to 01. Why are these two? There's so much that is literally not a difference with both of these belts that they don't need to be both in the game. Pick one. Look at this. There's barely a difference. There's no reason for both of these to be in this game. Look at this. What's the difference? It's just a color swap. What's the difference? What's the point? And there's a Cruiserweight Championship that Daredevil was talking about earlier that I don't like. People who are nitpick, it doesn't matter. They're the exact same. I don't know any of it. Is this a real belt, by the way? The PC Championship? I don't even know if that's a real belt or if it's because it's not in My Rise. So I'm not exactly sure if this is the actual WCW Women's Championship because I've heard that 2K just made this belt. They just made this belt for this game for my GM, and this isn't actually the design. Which, if that's true, why did they do it that way? So I was another, like, why is it two different NWOs? Like, I don't even think the Wolfpack ever sprayed the World Heavyweight Championship. This belt is hideous. This belt is awesome. So I was just gonna go through all of these belts and give something, something to say about it. So here's what I was saying earlier. They didn't. I forgot what I even asked you. What did I ask you? I don't even remember. They didn't. I don't remember. This belt, this version of the Intercontinental Championship, this is not the actual design of the belt. This is design that's put over a black strap. Yeah, well, okay, about the Wolfpack. Yeah, they didn't. See how there's no change? That's because this is the design that WWE owns. It's not the original design. Also, they didn't actually put in. This is Backlund's belt. This is one of the best looking belts right here. Yeah, so the actual WCW Championship is not in the game. It's spray painted, which led me to have to go to Community Creations and get an actual belt. So that's pretty much it. I was gonna go through all of them, which I really won't. Common belief is that this is an old WWF Championship belt that they smashed, that Mr. Perfect smashed. That's not true. It is an old WWF Championship belt, but it's not the one that Perfect smashed with Hogan. I think it was, I forgot what show it was on with the Genius. It's not the same belt. It's a different belt. But that's pretty much it, everybody. I might come back and do more with more of the stories behind the belts and different things. There's a lot of stories behind your favorite championships, and I like how the 24/7 belt was never finished. Like the pandemic hit right when they made it. No, it wasn't. It was they rushed it on TV with Mick Foley. Was that when the pandemic hit? It might have been when the pandemic, but they never finished it. But they used it after, so they still never finished the belt. It's just eternally unfinished design. I might come back in about 20 to 30 minutes with a brand new stream that will actually be gameplay. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Mick Foley. Was that 2017 to 19? Those years fuse together when it comes to wrestling. So, like I said, I might come back with another stream that would be actually me playing gameplay. It won't be wrestling related because I don't have 2K24. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure to like the stream. Maybe even talk about some of your favorite belt designs in the comments. And if you want me to make a follow-up video with talking about all of these belts, I can certainly do that. Maybe even some of these arenas, like why is Raw 2000 still not in this game, or why Nitro is in like a warehouse and not an actual arena. But until then, thanks everyone. You're about to make me cry. Thanks everybody for watching. I might be back later. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm Mayor Ghost, and I will see you